Welcome back to Podcast of Champions, and Cinema Cola is in the house.
Yep.
We're back. Last week we did talk about...
This is Dirty Dom Reyes.
Ooh, I forgot about introducing me. Thank you.
Dummy.
My hair was still messed up. I was freaking out about Mattel. I was losing my mind. I saw that my hair was all messed up. But you know what? I'll make fun of it.
Because then they said, chill out, brother.
You're in the chilling room, Jack. Chill out.
This is the chilling room. We don't freak out here.
Freak out. We don't do it.
Yeah, no planes are flying into the mountain in the chilling room. No, my friend. And there could be a plague raging out there. There could be social unrest and all that shit. But not in the chilling room.
Not here.
And I am Lord Rob the Madness. Didn't even get my own nickname right.
Lord Rob the Madness.
Thank you.
Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom, formerly the.
Oh man, this is fun, isn't it? So he had his coffee. He had two. That's your second cup.
My third cup.
Get another woo in there while you're at it. Woo. Oh my God, you see that? So last week we talked about the long run.
This week we're doing INXS X.
But tell them you.
So, my first favorite band ever was INXS in the 80s. The first album I heard from them was The Swing. It was tremendous. The next one was Listen Like Thieves. Tremendous. Then my senior year in high school, Kick was a monster. This is the follow-up to that album. So now we're in college.
And he referred it to me. So this is the album that you referred to me.
I know all of you were hanging on our every word in episode 1 when we did the long run by the Eagles.
All three of you. And you.
You and you and you and you.
Oops, that's four.
We're
That's
hoping
four
for
people.
a fourth one.
Okay.
And so Dom had said, hey, you should listen to the Eagles. And I was like, oh, I'm listening to INXS right now. And he's like, yeah, I've kind of listened to them, but not much. And I was like, oh, dude, you totally need to check out this album, X.
Yep. So
here we go.
I'm going to start off. After promoting and touring, they took a break to come into the album in late 89, or a studio to do 89 to do their follow-up from Kick, and this is their 7th album, X. They named it X because it was their 10th year since they released their first album, so X10. I will go into a review after, but let's talk about the songs. Let's open it up. Their song "Suicide Blonde" kicks it off.
Yep.
It's got I love how what I wrote was I love how the harmonica opened up this song in the album. It's such a '90s beat. It was almost that they were introducing us to the '90s. Even though this released in September of that year, it's still 1990. It does have that really '90s kind of steady beat. He does kind of talk through the part of the song, and it just has that really 90s feel.
Yep.
But before anybody else did it, these guys did it. So it was a new sound, but it was still very relevant to that last album. So it was, and I like that when you still. I said it on the long run as well. You kind of have what seems like leftovers. Because you really can't just change your sound like a Madonna or a Gaga, right? Where you're expecting that, so you expect that new sound. Where these guys, they did it in such a subtle way to me that they did it in such a subtle way that you transition to this new album that was out immediately from Kick, which was like 3 years previous, right? So I really liked this song, how they kick it off. I gave it 3.5 or 3 out of 5 because I do feel that there are better songs on this album. So you want to?
Yeah, I did not rank the songs track by track, but off the top of my head, Suicide Blonde is just a great song that I always love listening to. It's really fun. I like the maraca or something like the
Yep.
That they do, and the harmonica, and I'm a big Michael Hutchence fan. I think he always gets left off great frontman list because I think people consider him kind of a pop pretty boy, which is not how I view him. This album is a little more pop than rock from some of their previous stuff, but I consider INXS a rock band, and I think he's a great singer who's also handsome. So, I really like Suicide Blonde. I think it's great. I never get tired of it. I remember wearing this album out when I was in college in my first apartment,
First apartment memories, right?
Yeah.
Then we go into Disappear. This had an 80s new wave feel all over it. Nice throwback to the older fans, but some of their, but you know, some retro fans, they get some new stuff. Or, sorry, it's a nice throwback for new fans, but it's some retro stuff for the older fans. And you got a good backbeat with that tambourine, and his vocals, like you talked about earlier, just spot on. I also said this in my memos. Was this Actung Baby's like muse? Because it does. We
were talking about that when we listened to it that one day out here.
Yep.
It did seem like Achtung Baby sounded like INXS, and I remember people commenting on that at the time. Achtung Baby is, of course, another monster album by U2, but
this felt like that.
Yeah.
To me, this is where that was.
But this was first.
Yep. Way before. A good 6 years is.
No, it's like 2 years before.
Achtung came out in, I thought, late 90s.
No, it was like 91, 92.
Am I that old that I'm like that far apart of my
starting
years?
To slip, Jack.
And you're 50. God damn, they say memory's the second thing to go. Can't remember the first. But
well, your good looks are about to go if you keep bringing up the fact that I'm 50, you mother.
What'd you say?
But I won't shed any bitter tears over that fact.
Oh, that's pretty slick. I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I really like Disappear. I wish I would have ranked these songs. I won't make that mistake again.
Well, you didn't have to rank them.
I know, but I just kind of I mentally just forgot because I enjoy doing that. But I love Disappear. It's a great song.
Yep. Like the next song, The Stairs. I said it was a nice ballady intro. I would say that this was a ballad, but it flows into a cool song with a haunting beat and vocal track. The lyrics were amazing, and one of the part of that captured me was climbing as we fall. So that lyric right there was spot on for me. It was a short song, or at least it felt like it was a short song. It almost felt like an interlude, but it felt like it just was like a running song, and then you get the chorus, and there's like some music, and then it comes up with like another short chorus part, and then it's just done. But because the intro is so long on it, it's a longer song than I expected. But to me, it's a sweet song. I like it. I gave it 4 out of 5. Just because it was so different from how those other two were, and then the next song that it goes into, it just was different. Your thoughts on this one?
I like every song on this album.
Okay.
And just off the top of my head, I didn't put it in my top 5, but it's right there near the top. I love this song. It's got a different sound, quite a bit different already from Suicide Blonde 2 songs ago. This is a slower, maybe sadder song, but it's great. Yeah.
It is sad.
And his vocals are tremendous. Building as the song progresses. Yeah, it's a great song.
Yep.
What can I say?
Then there's the next song on the album, which I actually, when I was listening to this album today on the way over, because I want to stay fresh, or I don't want to stay current when I'm going to be talking about it.
I wish I had done that, but I was busy listening to the Eagles this morning.
Well, then, like I said, it's my job to do this album. So, you and I, when we talked about this album, I picked this song to be my favorite song on the album, but I think I might change it, and I might. Let's talk about Faith Into Each Other. I really like the bass intro. I like bass intros into a song. This one I would listen to when I'm driving around, listening to a new album, and then the song you didn't know would be on the album was. I really like this song. It felt like Miami Vice-y. That's the only way I could say that on a budget.
So it felt 80s?
Very 80s, yeah. But like Miami Vice, just the beat, the saxophones on it, but it felt like it was more, like I said here, with more of a budget, so it was done very well. Great deep cut, one of the favorite songs on my album. I actually gave this 5 out of 5.
Wow. It's a good song. It's, I like every song on this album. And I think this album is very polished. It feels like they really produced it. It's very, it feels like it's polished. I don't want to say it's slick.
It feels like, it seems like anytime you have a monster album, the next album is going to be really polished, really just produced really well.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. One of the things I always really like about INXS is all the little or whatever stuff they do. They snick, it feels like everybody in the band, and there's 6 people in the band. Everybody gets their little moments in each song, and they're subtle and they're fun. And this is another song, like that, with the bass player gets to do his thing at the beginning, and it's great. It's another great song.
Yep.
You're gonna hear me say that a lot.
It's a great song. Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Did you happen to have a rank on it?
No, not off the top of my head. I apologize. You know, when we do whatever album next, I will be like, by the way, for but I
You're
off
slipping.
the top of my head, I have my top five listed, and this is not on those.
By the way, you know what we forgot to do on the last show? List our top 5.
I listed mine, didn't I?
Nope, we both didn't. But
Well, you want to do that?
well, we don't have to do it now, but we can do it for this one.
Okay.
But By My Side is the next song.
Because I actually ranked my top 5 for the Eagles one.
I know, we're past it.
No, fuck it. Here's my interlude for the long run. Number 5, Those Shoes. Dom always likes it when I go when I go rogue, off course.
I'm waiting.
Number 4, In the City. In the City. Thank you, Joe Walsh. Number 3, The Long Run. Dom's speechless. Number 2, The Disco Strangler. Strangler.
Oh, you're hinting. You're hinting. I see what you're doing.
I put that as my second favorite song on the album. You didn't see that coming, did you?
Mm-mm.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
And number 1, I can't tell you why I have this as number 1, but I can't tell you why.
Well, just tell
Number
me.
1. All right. So
I'm right here. You can just tell me.
back to X. And By My Side is Dom here. He's going to go into the
Can
next
I go?
song. Yeah.
So yes, By My Side. Thank you for the interlude. I need a little reprieve from talking because I talk. You know, I try not to. But.
Speaking of Hotel California. No.
So we're gonna start a new show all of a sudden. But there By My Side.
Who do you think should win the Intercontinental title next season?
The Ultimate Warrior. By My Side. The ballad on this album. Piano, his vocals. You don't get a lot of ballads that make you feel like it was current, like Gaga, but it's just a good song. I just put it's a good song. By My Side. It's a very simple but to the point ballad. I give it 3.5 out of 5, just because of it's better than half.
Ditto.
That's it, huh? Just did it. All right, let's move on.
I feel like I used some of my time here on the long run listing. Incidentally, The Disco Strangler was not a single off that. Oh, I'm sorry. We're back to.
We're still good.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You chose me to do this album, so you, by all means, you can talk about.
That's a great. I love this album, by the way.
Lately is the 6th song.
Lately, this is my favorite INXS album. I mean, you know how it is with your favorite bands. You like.
Lately, Rob's been cutting me off. I mean, it's crazy how that works. I'm just kidding. But lately.
That reminds me of a good point.
Lately, the 6th song. This is what I call a tough guy song, kind of a Pet Shop Boys new wave.
I've never heard those sentences put together: tough guy and Pet Shop Boys.
Well, have you heard Pet Shop Boys? They
whatever their hits were back in the day, I remember.
Yeah, there's a was that Eastern Boy, Western Girls?
Oh, West Side Girls.
West Side Girls.
West End Girls.
West End Girls.
We will be covering the Pet Shop Boys roughly 2037, so look for it. Wait for it.
We'll be like, let's go way back to the new wave. God, isn't this stuff rad?
And they're going to be like,
I won't do
it's
that.
time for your Jell-O. Just a minute.
Here's your pillow. Where you put it over my face?
Live from the Assisted Living Facility at F Studios.
the F Assisted Living Studios. But I called this one, tough guy, Pet Shop, West End Girls. You don't think they're trying to be tough in that song? Like it's a tough guy song?
Well, give me a lyric here then.
West End Girl.
No, not that song. I'm talking about this one.
Oh.
Why do you think it sounds like the Pet Shop Boys?
Well, let me go in and...
Tough guy.
Tough guy. We'll go into that another time because I don't want to open my... We got stuff to cover over
I haven't
here.
listened to this album in 2 weeks. I'm a little rusty.
Okay, well, I haven't listened to it in a few days. But the part where he's like, ow! For some reason, it just gets me. For some reason, I'm just like... It just comes out of nowhere. He does it more than...
fucking awesome.
He does it more than once. You get more than one. Ow! You get 2 of them in this song. And towards the end, the song, the rhythm, and the vocals, the extra... I just give it an extra half point. That's what I said in my memos.
Nice.
So I give it 3.5 out of 5.
Now this song is about you, the listener. It's called "Who Pays the Price." What'd you think of this song?
I gave it 4 out of 5. I really like it. The guitar, what I said was it's kind of funky guitar and bass riff and harmonica. There's a lot of harmonica in this album. I would like to say I would say this is the other deep cut. I love deep cuts. I said this in here. those are. What did you think of this song while I put my shit together?
Yeah, while you fumble for your reading glasses, I'm gonna say that I like this song. I like the sax or whatever that's in there. You know, it brings you down. Wah wah. Is that a harmonica?
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's like a wall. Wah 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 wah.
Yeah.
Who pays the price? Wah wah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I like that, and it's different. It's got a different kind of rhyming arrangement, so it's fun. I like it.
I gotta ask, when you're doing Cinemacolor, the sounds of Cinemacolor, are you listening to music at the same time you're doing this?
No, I listen to it and take notes. And I did not take notes for this album because you said you were going to do it, right? And then, but obviously, for
I
me to
can't
be
read
able
them.
to talk intelligently, even about an album that I've heard hundreds of times, I need to take notes so that it's fresh.
What's weird is you can listen to you can listen to an album over and over and over, and then when it comes to actually like sitting down and talking about it, how you can draw a blank.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying not to do now, even though I wrote down memos.
And hasn't it been fun this month taking notes on songs? We just started doing this a couple weeks ago, but it's been fun.
It's been fun. It's different how much more pay attention, like how much more you'll pay attention, and how much more you notice when you are taking notes. How much more detail you'll get. Like I said, this is a deep cut on the album. I like deep cuts. So without writing that, I would have not remembered that. This is another deep cut that I liked, and I would have just moved on. But like I said, I gave this one 4 out of 5. Know the Difference was the next song that I started really liking today. There was just a few different beats that I liked. I said it was a nice filler song, had a steady beat and good lyrics. Not the best song, but I'm not going to skip it. You know, where you had your Geeks Don't Want No Freaks, you'll probably skip that song, if feeling that this is probably one of the worst.
Skip it. I'm tempted to write an angry letter to the surviving members of the Eagles.
Well, don't.
Like, can we get HBO Max to ban Greeks Don't Want No Freaks?
Before this, just so you know,
I want to protect future generations from the horrors of Greeks Don't Want No Freaks.
And there's like an insert on the album that says that, just so you know.
A
This is one of
musical
the worst
scholar
songs.
comes out, you know.
Jimmy Buffett wrote this. We can't just take it off. They were going to hurt his feelings. But Rob McCullough hates it. So.
Rob McCullough really doesn't like this song, so just view it through that lens as you're, getting your coworkers fired. Or whatever you're doing in 2020.
Whoever you're snitching on, just throw this in there.
Before you put everybody on blast when you listen to this song, remember that we're already giving you a warning.
Where did I leave off?
You might be triggered.
Who pays the price?
We're on Know the Difference, which I agree with you is
probably
the least favorite song on the album. It's still good.
It's still good.
It's filler.
I like when albums have filler songs, but they're still good, where you don't have to turn them. But if you're not listening to it, it's not a big deal, because you're going to come back to a good song.
You're not going to be skipping to Know the Difference, but
no.
I mean, skipping to get to it. Like, I need to hear some INXS today. Where's Know the Difference? You're not going to be doing that, but it's a good song.
The next song, On My Way, I actually ranked
The next song is Bitter Tears.
Oh, sorry. Whoa, I jumped ahead. I apologize. So yes, I'm looking at his case over here. So Know the Difference is number 8. I didn't even, that's why I skipped it. It's because I didn't even cover it.
Oh. I like Bitter Tears. If I remember right, and I didn't Wikipedia this shit, but I feel like it was a single also.
It was.
I have always liked about this that they use a different rhyme scheme. Usually it's like bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom for the rhymes, and this one it's like bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. They rhyme the first and fourth line, which I've always liked in Bitter Tears. Yep.
I said I did write about it. This song is good. It's a feel good song. It comes up and puts its arms around you, and if you cry, no big deal. Because it is the meaning behind the song is kind of sad. The bitter tears. I did give this a 4 out of 5. So I did review it. I just happened to skip it.
It's a great song.
I need to make this bigger so that I can see it, huh?
Yeah, well, if there's one thing I've learned turning 50, it's that font sizes are too small across the world.
Well, I have bifocal parts on these, and they're just not working for me today.
Next time you see us, we will have the giant magnifying glasses that were
It'll be like
staples of old people in their TV guides back in the day.
Or we're doing this, like when you look at stuff, you do this, like I have to. Sucks. Isn't that weird how your eyes keep on growing? You know that? They never change.
My vision went. I was on vacation when I was 41, and one day we were in Florida. One day I'm at the pool and I'm reading a book and it's fine. And literally the next day I was like,
Really?
yeah.
I remember that happened to me when I had to get glasses when I was in 8th grade. I was squinting. Well, one day it was just fine. Next day, like you said, it came in and I was like, I'm squinting. So on my 15th birthday, the boy got glasses.
Yeah, I've resisted getting glasses, but I have reading glasses. It looks like Sanford and Son around here. Every time you open a drawer, there's like 10 pairs of reading glasses. My wife and I are both like trying to find the right ones, you know. How'd you like that reference, Sanford and Son? For no one watching this will remember that because no one alive when that show was on knows how to use the computer.
And I remember that any episode where you had to go open the drawer, get all the glasses out. I remember that.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. So the next song is Hear That Sound?
No, it's On My Way.
I am forgetting one.
Yeah, you're right here.
Ah. And you're the one that has to wear glasses.
Well, I'm far enough away that I can read this as rockabilly-ish. But what do you?
Oh, good for you. I think it's the red line that's under there that says you can't spell rockabilly-ish. But rockabilly-ish, a little honky tonk, and then all of a sudden the Microsoft tone chimes in. Okay, filler. My least favorite song on the album. 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I can't even elaborate on that anymore because that's just how I felt.
I like the I'm on my way. I'm on my way. But it is filler, yeah.
It's a filler. Hear That Sound. Sometimes, like we were talking about earlier, sometimes you can tell when an album's coming to an end, and this has that. You can tell the last song on the album. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Always last songs on the album are never the best, but they're good.
I like it. It's we talked about this with the Eagles song in the Sad Cafe.
Yeah.
I like not fading out on an album, but the kind of like a mellow bringing it to a close. And this one does that, and I like that they have like a fade out, and you think the song's over, and then it kind of comes back and then goes out again.
Yep. I forgot to actually put that in there.
It's like, hear that sound. You know, it really just kind of closes the book.
Yep.
And that's the so I like it a lot.
Yep, me too. I'm gonna give a quick little synopsis, and then if you want to follow up, give a couple of our best songs on the album and just wrap it up. I said Suicide Blonde and Disappear, top 10 in the U.S. Bitter Tears and By My Side were the best hits, reached number 5 in the top 200, sold over 2 million or 2 times platinum. All over this album, from the opening song, Suicide Blonde, to the deep cut, which with a good beat like Faith in Each Other, or mixing it up with a little funk in Who Pays the Price, is a good album, especially after a smash album like Kick. I would say it's better than Kick, and I give it 3.5 out of 5. I'm leaning on 4, but I said 3.5 out of 5 because I couldn't decide. Like I said, I did take notes, but I also have, I do feel this is a really good album. I like that we're going to go backwards after we do after this and after Long Run, and go back and do the Monster albums. But that's 2 albums in a row. We're 2 for 2, where you and I have both decided or have thought that the follow-up albums not only were polished or produced better, but were better than the Monster albums previously to them.
I love this album. It's not, I usually lean towards harder rocking stuff, right? But I do like some more chill stuff. Mm-hmm. There is INXS that's a lot harder than this album, and faster maybe. But this is probably currently my favorite INXS album, and I probably have like 5 albums of theirs that I think are really great. But I really like this album. I have never in the past 30 years not liked it. It stood the test of time. Ages like a fine wine, Daddy. It's really good. I listen to it frequently, and I can listen to the whole thing. I like the whole album.
Give me your top 3 songs.
I give it 9 out of 10. My top 5 songs. Number 5, I got The Stairs.
Okay.
This is off the top of my head because I didn't take notes and score them. There could be some movement in here, in whatever. Number 4, Lately. Number 3, Disappear. Number 2, Bitter Tears. And number 1, I'll stick with Suicide Blonde.
Okay. I will go in no particular order. I'll just pick 5 that I really like. Disappear, Suicide Blonde, The Stairs, Faith in Each Other, and Who Pays the Price. And those are just naming a few just off the top of my head that I know that Faith in Each Other is definitely one of my favorite ones on that album. Great album. I really like that we are switching this up. I'll do a little bit better on my notes, but
it sounds like though that because it sounds like you had really probably only listened to Kick
and the greatest hits.
And so maybe just as you expanded my horizons with the Eagles, where now I'm like trying out some different Eagles albums and listen to them, and I got their greatest hits, and you're doing likewise with INXS.
Yep. And not only is that, what the cool thing is, what sounds funny is like when you go to Netflix and suggested, when I'm going to my Apple Music list, I like going to what else, or here's some other suggestions. Sometimes I'll just take a stroll in the park on one of those and see what I come up with. And I've done that, even though I've listened to Huey Lewis in the news back in the day. Like sometimes I'm using Huey Lewis as an example, but I'll click on some or Hall & Oates, stuff I grew up to. I'll click on it and go deeper into it.
Yeah.
Just from a suggestion. Once again, like I was saying on the previous episode, was a lot. I'm big on pop culture. And I grew up on this older music. So, getting away from the older music, getting into that pop culture. In between all that, I was really into heavy metal, hard rock. I'm really enjoying going backwards in the 70s and just getting into that. There was just so much more variety with the bands at that time. You have the Eagles, where it was very folky country. Then they go into more disco beats with, or let's talk about INXS.
INXS was kind of new agey, not new agey, new wavy.
And then they kind of transitioned to more rock, with that new wave feel. You can still feel it, but
Listen Like Thieves is a very new wave kind of album. Well, and then they kind of transitioned into more, I don't know,
popular rock
with Kick, which was huge, and now they're maybe even going a little more that way with.
I wonder if because they were now, for those who are from the area, 107.7 The End was kind of an alternative radio station. They would play on that at the time. So in the 90s, they were transitioning over to that alternative rock. I'm sure if they were still around, they would be back to rock. INXS, great group. I think it's a huge miss with Michael Hutchence being out of the music scene.
He was whacked. I'm talking to you, Bob Geldof. I know you did it, you motherfucker.
No, he was whacking off.
No. Bob Geldof killed him. He's the Kevin Sullivan getting away with murder out there. That's right, Kevin Sullivan. I said it. You killed Benoit's wife.
I love conspiracy theories. We can go all day about those. But, let's wrap it up. I really, this was a great album, great show. What should we do next? I think like we said, we were going to do Hotel California. We'll do Kick. But before we do, we still have a movie to cover.
Yep.
So our next episode, we'll be covering Miami Blues, and if we can get into another album, that's what we'll do. In the meantime, we really appreciate anybody viewing. I'm Dom from Podclass. I always keep fucking this up. It's Dominic, Dirty Dom from Podcast of Champions.
And I'll see if I can get mine right. I am Lord Rob the Madness.
You dig it? You dig it?
Open your mind.
Quado Madness, yeah, dig it. From Cinema Cola.
From the chilling room.
In the chilling room.
We're going to get some Cascade pizza. Shout out to Pete.
Yeah. Everybody, thanks for joining, and suggestions, recommendations, comments. Feedback is always a gift. We appreciate you watching from F Studios' remote location over at the chilling room. I think we already said this. We're out.
Let's get some food. What'd you think of that one?